welcome to another brand new episode here on Hickory Brook Farm, or Market Garden as we've been calling it, but yeah, Hickory Brook Farm is Brook Farm, yeah, that's right. As you can see, I've just sold all of the produce that we've produced over the last month, so I've got that done. This field has been ploughed. We did that, I think, in the last episode, and then hail came along and somehow managed to change ploughing back to, I don't know, stubble by the looks of that. So actually what happened was that was how it looked a little bit after we planted the vegetables in there, and after we harvested the vegetables, and yeah, it's now turned it back to that. So I'm not sure hail would do that to ploughed field, but anyway, ploughing. So down here, firstly, I hope you're all getting on okay. Hope you're all having a great day, and a happy new year to all of my viewers. I was meant to say that in the video that went out on Wednesday, but because I pre-record these quite a few days in advance, I sometimes forget, because I sort of think, well, I mustn't forget Wednesday to say Happy New Year to everyone. Well, of course, what I don't sort of always remember is that actually it won't be Wednesday when I need to say it. It will be like, the Tuesday before, or, the week before, or whatever, But anyway, yeah, so I've had to abandon ploughing because... So this is what the helper did with the plough, and as you can see, it's really not that great. And as I've said before, the ground doesn't get deformed at all because you're still able to walk level with the ground. So I'm not really sure how they say that that's ground deformation, but anyway. But yeah, it was just chucking my tractor all over the place. And as I say, like down here, it's a complete near breed mist, where we've got an open furrow in the ground. So I've abandoned ploughing. I'm just not going to bother. There's no point. I don't want it looking like that. The thing is, the problem that I've got is that obviously it was my job once upon a time, and I used to take great pride in it, and I'm not having, even though people, I think, in YouTube land probably understand and are probably experiencing the same issues. I mean, look at it, like, it's awful. I preferred it the old way, to be fair. At least it looked a little bit like ploughing, do you know what I mean? Like, but at least it didn't have great big ruts in it and whatever else. My sort of feeling is that if you're not going to implement it properly, then don't implement it at all. I mean, it looks like it's been deformed, but the fact that you can walk on the gap, tells me that it hasn't. Anyway, like I say, I'm not going to sit here and because we've done enough of that, slagging giants off. So yeah, so I've abandoned ploughing basically. So what we're going to do is today we've got quite a bit of money to spend today, which is good because we all like spending money, especially after Christmas. So what we're going to do is, as I say, I went ahead and sold all of the produce that we made. So today's plan is we're going to get another tractor, we're going to get a cultivator, we're going to get a seed drill, and I'm hoping to get at least 2 more greenhouses. Now what we'll do is actually we'll just nip back to the farm because we'll do the greenhouses now, and then they can be producing the crops they're going to produce for tomorrow. Now, as you know, also as well in the last episode, we used up and converted all of the vegetables that we grew into preserved vegetables. So we've got no more of that to collect. But what we can do, so we've got garlic in this one, we've got chilies in this one. So the next 2 that I want to buy another 2 of these, and that will be spring onions and cabbages, and then we'll be able to use these polytunnels as our kimchi producing polytunnels. Obviously we've now got 3 mushrooms, I think, yeah, which is more than enough. So we've got 3 mushrooms, so I want to get 2 polytunnels. Now, I did manage to find some other things to make, like what you would sell in a farm shop. You know, one was not particularly realistic in the sense that it was a banana tree plot. But just excuse me for 1 second. Sorry about that. And yeah, so one was a banana tree plot, but there's quite a few errors in it. And the other one was an orchard tree plot, and yeah, again, there's quite a few errors in it. So I did load it in, and I did just lay them out, and it instantly crashed my game. So they've gone. Because I'm not sure which one it was. Both of them threw up quite a lot of errors, but I planted them in this bit here because I thought, well, here we could have a orchard. Here we could have an orchard, but I might use this for my grapes and my olives. So what I'll do is, there's like one side I'll plant grapes, the other side I'll plant olives, and then somewhere in the middle we'll try and meet. For every one row of grapes we put in, we'll put one row of olives in, so that, as I say, hopefully then there'll be like an equal number. But yeah, anyway, we'll get on with laying down those greenhouses, and then, as I say, I want to then buy. I have pre-looked in the sale, so it's not a case of like I'm going to go, oh, you know, because I haven't looked. I have pre-looked. There is a couple of things in there that I do need, but there are also, I think, at least one thing that excuse me, that I've got to buy myself, you know, brand new. But as I say, we've got a few quid, so we'll get on and do that. But anyway, that tractor and that seed drill is what we're going to buy. We can't pull that, unfortunately, not unless we buy that, or no, can't even pull it with that. So unless we buy the quad track, we can't pull that. But we're not buying the quad track, although it would be nice. But yeah, no, we're not buying the quad track. But yeah, so that tractor and that seed drill, and then the cultivator, which is this cultivator here. I was going to buy that one, but it's trailed. There's no point messing about. You might as well just use a cultivator that's attached to the tractor, and everything can turn, you know, nice and tight then. So I mean, that one is a metre wider, but I still think we'll get on better with that one. But yeah, the seed drill we'll need as well, obviously, because we need to drill some crops. Although this year, yeah, I'm still going to buy the seed. I'm going to stick with my original kind of idea, and we'll go from there. But yeah, so first off, let's get the greenhouses. So I have downloaded some other things that seem to work. So we've got the market here, which is pretty cool. So that just sells everything really, and then we've got that one as well that also sells everything and is the modded version of the in-game one. More money, but it does do a lot more stuff than that one. So I you know, I accept that. That's fine. In terms of factories, if we come down here, so I've now got marmalade, which is that, which I'm not putting down at the moment, but I might do in the future. We have got a rum factory, which is that. We have got vodka, but that one does have errors in it, so we might not be using that one. And this one's whiskey, and then we've got wine at the bottom from our grapes, so we can do sort of all of that good stuff as well. But for today, we are doing greenhouses, so I'll say we'll use these polytunnels. I quite like these polytunnels, to be fair. They're okay. Let's turn it the right way around. Try and get it level if we can. I'm trying to leave a bit of a gap between them because I do quite like the fact that, you know, if I can drive down them, I can just get right next to them, you know. But I don't want to leave a huge gap, even if I can't get down there. But yeah, so we'll have that one. and then we'll have that one. So that's what we need. That's all we need. We'll eventually sort out the grass down there, but not yet. Got other things we need to do. So we'll get this one, and we want cabbage out of this one. Activate, enable watering, and this other one we need spring onions. And we will get this one done. Spring onions, activate, enable watering. There we go. So they will very quickly spring to life once the water goes in there. Not bad. I think I got the spacings a bit better, or got them a bit further back as well, which not that matters, but yeah, so I will sort out the grass down here. But now we will buy our equipment that we want, and that's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. And there's a trailer as well. I might see if I can wait until we get a drawbar trailer rather than a swing trailer, or what I call it, well, a turntable trailer, but I call them swing trailers because they just swing everywhere. And at work, so we used to have a couple of those turntable trailers, and one was a low loader, so we used to load like the crawler on there. This is the first farm that I worked on. So they had an old, well, I've told you about it before, a track marshal and steel tracks, and we used to load the track marshal and the Daswell plough on this turntable low loader, as we used to call it, obviously because it's low to the ground. And it used to be an absolute blooming nightmare. So a couple of times on the farm, I was allowed to use the track marshal and the plough to plough, and it was absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. As I say, spent many hours as a wee small boy on the track marshal, going up and down with my granddad. So all those years later, for me to get the opportunity to drive it and to plough with it, with exactly the same plough as my granddad had, was a huge honour. And something that I am very grateful to the first farm. I know in the end it ended acrimoniously between us, and there were incidences and stuff in my time that I worked there, but they did give me that, and be forever grateful. And they also filmed it as well, which means that I do get to watch it back every now and again when I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic or a little bit down and sort of thinking, why is life so cruel? I'll watch that video and just remember life isn't always bad. Yeah, but we used to use the low loader. Well, of course, the one thing they used to say to me was, if you're going to use the crawler, you got to use the trailer. And if you're going to use the crawler and the trailer, you've got to use the tractor that your granddad used to pull it with, which was the David Brown 996. Right, barely powerful enough to pull this blooming trailer, but you used to have to use it, like use it, go full retro. And this is on a modern farm. I mean, we had a John Deere 7810 as our main tractor, and then a 6620 and a 6030. And then I can't remember the numbers of the case, but we had a Case Maxim, and then as I say, a couple of David Browns, 4 David Browns I think altogether, 2 885s that we used to do the sugar beet hoeing on, a 996 that we used to do the rolling with, and it used to pull the header trailer as well for the combine. Obviously used to pull the crawler and what have you, but I couldn't reverse the turntable trailer. I couldn't reverse the turntable trailer with the David Brown. I just couldn't, you know. And yeah, so what used to happen was, if the two boss men were about, then I would use the Davy Brown. If the two boss men were not about, then I used to use the telehandler, because the telehandler, with its reverse, with its four-wheel steering, meant that I could reverse it really, really easily. Because you just literally keep turning the telehandler left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, and it used to back the trailer up in a straight line, and and so you know, therefore it was like really easy. And I parked it. So one afternoon, both Anthony and his dad had gone out. They'd gone to look at I think it was a Clash Challenger, I think it was, because we were moving over to rubber tracks for all of our cultivation work. And yeah, and they'd got off to look for it. And of course, I'd finished spring ploughing with the track marshal, because it had been a little bit wet. I mean, it wasn't too wet for you know, for wheel tractors to do their thing, but I'd been using the track marshal, and I had to put it away, and I had to put it away in the workshop, and there was no way on God's green earth I was going to be able to reverse the trailer into the workshop, turn it so it would sort of come in like this. You come in the door like this, but it used to park, because the workshop was like an L shape, so it'd come back like this, and then it'd go that way. And so what I had to do was sort of kind of, and the yard would go sort of right out there, so you get a good backup at it, you get a good, you know, sort of reverse at it, but come up like that and then turn it that way. And there was no way on God's green earth with the David Brown I was ever going to be able to do that. So because they weren't there, I used the telehandler, and with its foot, and because like I got it in, you know, absolutely sort of not perfect, but it was in, it was straight, and it was, you know, it was sort of home for until the autumn. When I would then again ask if I could use it, and I wasn't always allowed to use it, or you know, whatever. But and one of the main reasons why I couldn't use it, although the plough itself that we used to put on the crawler, that didn't go on the back of any of the tractors or anything like that. That was specifically for the crawler, so it was virtually always attached to it, apart from when we used to pull the mole plough and a really heavy subsoiler. We used to do that with the crawler as well. I mean, the crawler wasn't particularly high in horsepower. I can't remember what it was now, but Jesus, could it pull? I mean, that thing could have pulled a house down. I'm fairly certain of it. Anyway, backed it in, made a schoolboy error because I left the telehandler on the bleeding trailer. I didn't disconnect it. I backed it in, and then the guy that I was working with, John, he he came to me, said, Jamie, you give us a hand? And I said, yeah, no worries. He said, don't you forget to take that off there. Well, of course, so I went off and give John a hand. I think he was putting fence up for the sheep, some new fencing up for the sheep, and I was sort of, you know, helping him do that. And it got to 5 o'clock, and of course, like I said to him, I said, right, I'm off. He said, yeah, right. He said, so am I. We both got in our cars, both buggered off. I mean, we locked up. But yeah, so we went home, and then of course it was then very apparent the next morning that I'd left the telehandler on the trailer. And he said to me, he goes, the boss, Anthony said to me, he said, I thought I told you couldn't use that. So I said, yeah, I know. I said, but I couldn't get it in there. I said, so I just thought, look, rather than wasting diesel, screwing up the shed floor and that, I said, like, it's just easier to back it in with that, wasn't it? Yeah, but he said, your granddad could back it in there. I said, well, clearly he was a better tractor driver then. I said, but I couldn't. I said, and I did have a go. I said, I did have a go. He said, yeah, I know you had a go. He said, because there's rubber marks on the floor from the David Brown. He said, like, you know, he said, the secret to that trailer is, he said, is you got to just turn it ever so slightly, just really tiny corrections. He said, you steer too much. And he said, therefore, he said, like, you know, that's why it's, he said, you got to just turn it more steadier. But Yeah, so as I say, I mean, not that he was mad, but he just said like, you know, he said the reason why I try and get you to do it is because he said like, you know, it would be a really good skill to have because not many tractor drivers can reverse them. So he said if you're one of the few that can, it's a really good skill to have. And then like, you know, I mean, some like, you know, some Fridays he'd come to me at 11 o'clock and say, I ain't got nothing else for you to do today. So he said like, you know, he said what I would suggest is until 1 o'clock, just practice back in that trailer. And then I'd sort of get it out of the shed and try backing it and what have you, but I still wasn't really ever that good at it. But unless it was on the back of the telehandler, and then I could do it fine. As I say, the four-wheel steering made it very easy to turn. But yeah, anyway, we'll collect our wares and we will crack on. So the drill doesn't need any previous cultivations. It's a direct drill, hence the reason why I was so keen to use it. Oh, I didn't buy the cultivator. I was going to say I had a cultivator as well. I didn't buy it. Yeah, so that was I've got a feeling actually that tractor has got a front lift. Not that with my dodgy eyes I can see it. Has it? Yeah. So I can buy a weight. I can buy a weight. If I can find them. Don't need nothing too ridiculously heavy on there. That'll do a treat. Yeah, that's fine. As I say, a bit of a spend up today. It's always good having a bit of a spend up. But the one thing with the sort of game style that we've got is that as soon as we get money, we lose money. Alright, so are you able to lift that without tipping up? Because I can't put a front weight on you. Yeah, you are. That's fine. That's okay. And then what I'll do is I'll send you to do some field work. Okay. Sometimes that just brings up the option, but we'll do it this way. Create job, click on that tractor, create job, field work, and then if I get you to go to here because it's the biggest field, so get on with that, go in that direction, excellente, do that, hopefully you can do it. And then what we'll do is we'll get in this tractor, obviously, and then we'll get the front loader on. Excuse me. We'll get the front loader. We'll get the weight on. We'll get the drill on, and then we'll go and drill our. We've just got the field that was vegetables last year is coming oats this year, and then the 3 fields that we bought new this year are coming vegetables. In actual fact, we could. That wasn't what I wanted to look at. That's what I wanted to look at. Oh yeah, that was right. We can't pull the harvesters, can we? Ah, yeah, I remember. Yeah. You know, I might actually just grow 4 fields of veg, because we've got no real need for oats. Although having said that, we could grow the oats for flour, and we could sell the flour in farm shop, I guess, which would be a little bit more better. But yeah, we've got no real need for oats otherwise. That's what I was thinking, but that's what we'll do. We'll sell the well, excuse me, we'll sell the flour in the farm shop and get a little bit of flour being sold, as I say, as well, and which is always good. Right, so we'll make our way. It looks like that tractor's not going to make not going to make the trip. I wonder what happens if I cancel the traffic. Is he able to go then? If it removes the collision, no, he's not. Okay, right, we'll put traffic back on then. We'll go there. We'll go there. We'll do it again. Right, great job, field work. Where was he going? Should be able to just press start and he should still just go. It's just started raining, which is handy, seeing as we want to get on the land and get going. We've got to drill the oats today, whatever, because it's the last month that it's... Jesus, on the corner, mate. Crikey. Overtaking on the corner. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to a little bit of time lapse, and we'll get the oats drilled. That other tractor will be then cultivating. Then what we'll do is we'll get the planter on, and we will go and plant some vegetables, and then we'll be all worked up again this month, and then we can just be selling our wares each month. Because as I say, after that the work runs out a little bit, but we'll have a little bit more of sort of road trips to take, because obviously we'll be growing the ingredients to our kimchi, so we'll be able to do that. But yeah, and then we'll see where we're at. Hopefully there'll be a few more implements and vehicles for sale as well, which will help us move on. If not, I'll buy some land. I might buy this field to my right and get that one, because I don't think that's been planted. Yeah, we'll just get out of a moving tractor, shall we, James? Yeah, well done, son. It's growing grass, so that's a bit unfortunate, but I suppose we could cultivate it. But yeah, so I just want to keep just every now and again put in a bit extra, an extra field in or whatever, just to keep us moving. But we've got these 4 fields here, 3 fields. Yeah, 3 fields. We don't own the big one on the other side. As I say, that ploughing, that's really annoyed me. I was about to, so I was going to start the episode today with me, with the helper ploughing that field, and then buy this tractor, and then, we would come in and then plant behind. But yeah, that put me in a bit of a mood. I had to wander off for a little bit and do a couple of other odd jobs, because that did annoy me. But anyway, we'll get this one drilled. But we do need to just reverse into the shed if the planter's not in the way, and just get ourselves some seed. And the planter, I can see, is in the way, so that's all good stuff. We can get the planter out, because as I say, we're going to need it anyway. We'll put the planter next to this shed or in front of the workshop or something. That'll be fine. I do need to change that to carrots, because that's going to be the big field. the one where the cultivator is now going. Like I say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to a bit of time lapse, and we're going to crack on with the field work, and then we will be back to do some more selling and converting, as I say, the kimchi ingredients into kimchi, and slowly but surely we'll be moving us on again. Right, let's just get this in here. Let's open the cover. Ooh, that was a little bit tight, but there we go, we got it. Try and go around the veg harvester without knocking it to pieces. It's always very helpful. Right. I think that's all the seed we've got. Bugger. Ah, dear. Well, we'll close the lid because it's raining, but we are going to have to pop off to the shop. So I'll switch over to that time lapse now. So I'm back. That got the oats bodged in. Jesus. I didn't do a very good job in that field. It was a bit tight for that tractor and drill. But we're getting on a little bit better in this field. So we get these carrots done. Say these fields are not particularly big or wide, so it's not going to take too long to do. But we, as I say, we can get this done, and then we can move on then to the next month. I don't think these crops are going to need rolling either, so I decided to buy those little rolls. While I was drilling, I was kind of like, oh, I'll put a little set of rolls in, didn't I? So I decided to buy them. I think they were about £9,000, weren't they? So they weren't too expensive. So, but it will help as I mean, didn't necessarily need them for this year, but while we're spending, we're spending. So as I say, I decided to get them, but yeah, we're getting the carrots in nicely, as I say, and then parsnips and the red beets, and then we'll be back to just looking after our greenhouses then for a couple of months before we'll need to harvest again. Obviously, we'll hire the combine like we did last year. Just because that does make life a lot easier for us, and it makes life a lot easier, and it's a lot cheaper as well than us having to buy a combine that we're going to literally combine one little field and then it's going to sit in the shed again then for the following year. Do you know what I mean? So as I say, we'll for now we'll just keep hiring, but there will come a time when we will need to buy our own combine. But we're a long way off that at the moment. As I say, the idea of the save was to replicate, the dream in real life, and gradually, slowly but surely, I think I'm beginning to kind of do that. This is. I understand that with farming sim, things move on so much faster. Sort of, I think we're third year in now. I don't think I would have already have got to having tractors of this size, but you don't know. You don't know, but I would say it was probably unlikely. But yeah, so but it's not going too bad. And so we keep the vegetables coming in, really, keep the greenhouses going, and sort of just keep going like that, really. It would be nice if we could actually grow lettuces and stuff in the field, so that because that little field that we've got next to the house, where we've just drilled the oats, I mean, that's our ideal little garden plot, that is, for growing. It's a pity that with the game we can't grow lettuces in the field, we can't grow leeks, we can't grow cauliflowers and, broccolis and stuff like that. I sort of feel that, me personally, that's where concentration of crops needs to be now. We've got virtually all of the main, sort of cereal crops going now. So to have a really good sort of concentration on, pumpkins and broccoli and cauliflower, leeks, Brussels, there's a lot of those crops require specialist equipment, and some of those crops can be harvested with the platinum DLC harvesters. Certainly in the area that I live, cauliflower picking and lettuce and cabbage and stuff like that is now becoming mechanized. It's gone from being, we needed, several thousand across the country. This is not just my area, but a few thousand, sort of immigrants and what have you to pick out vegetables, because we can't now rely, because obviously we've come out of the EU. So therefore, the EU the workforce marketplace is not available to us. So therefore, farms are having to sort of say, well, actually, can't get the staff, and that's even better, because now we're going to spend, several £100,000 on a bit of kit, but over the long term, we're going to be able to harvest more efficiently, and so I think, the short-term sort of losses that we've had in terms of, we've had all of this crop that we couldn't harvest. I think long term, I think we're going to be in a much better place, because British people, British kids, British people in general don't want the work of harvesting, cauliflowers and strawberries and sort of stuff like that. So we've had to rely on labour from abroad. That's not really an option as such anymore. Although at the moment there's plenty of boats coming in, I'm sure we could find them something to do. If they want to be here that badly, then let's sort of kind of say, well, hang on a minute, then you're gonna have to live in hostels, and you're gonna have to work on the land, and you're gonna have to do the jobs that British people won't do unless you're paying them £1 million to do it, because as I say, like the I mean, I always remember, me being at work, obviously I had my illness that I had, but I still wanted to go out to work. If I still do want to go out to work every day, it's just physically I'm not capable anymore. And, but my ex's brother, nothing wrong with him, built like a brick outhouse. And he was just like, no, I refuse to go to work because they don't pay me enough. And I was like, well, what do you mean they don't pay you enough? I said, to be fair, they don't really pay me enough. I said, but it's a job I'm providing. I've got my own money to spend. I'm not relying on handouts every minute of the day. And he was just like, why would I work when I get the money for nothing? And this is the reason why people like myself struggle so much in life now. Because people believe that we're all of his attitude and we're not. So the generation of today don't want to work. Yes, for a lot of them the opportunities are not there. In terms of maybe doing what they want to do. And I kind of can accept that a little bit, but then you take what's going, and for many more of them, they just can't be bothered. I mean, I grew up in a school where there was 3 girls in my class, and careers officer was kind of going around the room, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to work on a farm. That's what I want to do. I've always wanted to do that. It's never going to change. I can't really see myself doing anything other than that. And then sort of went along some of the lads, and I mean, one of them was, sort of quite honest. I don't know whether he was being funny or not. He was stupid enough for me to believe that he wasn't being funny and that this was genuinely his answer. And he said, I want to be a career criminal. I want to have a career in crime. Because he said, he said, when it works out, you've got loads of money. And when it doesn't work out, you've got free rent, free meals. I don't need the money. Just like, and and even today, sometimes I think about the lad that said that, and he is in prison at the moment. He is one of the few people of who I used to go to school with that I've kind of, kind of kept tabs on what he's doing with his life. And yeah, at the moment he is in prison, and because like when I read that, and I was like, well, there you go. There's your free board, free meals. But the amount of times he has been in prison, I don't think being a career criminal is I don't think he's very good at it. We'll say that. But yeah. So, but as I say, and some of the girls, when they were asked, oh, that's easy. We'll leave school, we'll get pregnant, we'll get given a house, we'll get given, benefits and what have you, and we'll just find some bloke that sort of wants to live that sort of life. And I was and I sort of think, I don't know what is the matter with this country and the people. The problem is the people are fed up with year in year out more and more scandals and more things from our politicians that are have got 9 jobs, not paying tax on any of them, earning about £15 million a year. And we're all kind of, well, hang on a minute. Why should we go out work and be honest when you're just screwing us for everything we've got either way? So, again, there is that sort of attitude and sort of argument to it, but I don't know. Anyway, as I say, we're getting the well, we've got the carrots done now. We've just got one more breed along that headland to do now, and then that's that done. He's just about finished that field, so we can then get in there and that will be parsnips, that one, I think, or red beets, depending on which comes around first in the planter. But yeah, so we'll as I say, get those next two done, and then it will be the grind down to harvest, which to be fair, I am very much looking forward to, because I really enjoyed the last harvest that we had with the veg harvester. It wasn't too painful at all. I know it's going to be a little bit longer this time because we've got bigger fields, but we've got bigger fields because obviously, you know, we wanted, or you know, we need to grow more veg so that we can you know, increase our tinned vegetables, or yeah, tinned vegetables really. You know, so we need to sort of get on and do that. We'll drill the headlands first this time. Oh, it will help if I turn the drill on, of course, or the planter. So we'll pick it up. We won't drag it on its bum, James. We'll pick it up. There we go. I've got to admit, actually, the texture when I was kind of drilling or planting the first breed of carrots, I was like, okay, so how the hell am I supposed to tell that apart? You know, does this game not realise I've got cataracts? And most of that just looks like one sort of blurry mess to me. So yes, you know, but anyway, we'll skate on past that. It looks like he's finished. When we get round there, we'll get him in the next field, and then as I say, these will be virtually done then. He'll get that one finished. I'll go into it, and then I'll get it planted, and then as I say, we'll be on the road down to harvest. Then what I probably will do is I may sort of chat through it, or I might even time lapse it, and we'll get down to harvest, and then next episode we can be on with our harvest again. As I say, we can sort of keep this save for now moving round, because you know, we've not got a great deal going on at the moment, but there will be, you know, there will be, because as I say, some of those productions that I've put in will require crops that at the moment we're a long way from getting, like sugarcane and stuff like that. So yeah, we're a long way from achieving those types of things, and you know, we can just sort of keep going on, and we've got a couple of maps that are close now to coming out for FS25, so we might be having a look at them. I've got a couple of ideas for you know, sort of things we can do, you know, as maybe series or mini series or something like that. Obviously I've got my my ideas for shorts coming up, see how that kind of works and how that kind of progresses, and then yeah, we'll see how we get on. But anyway, for now I'm going to switch over back to some time lapse, and we'll get these two planted, and then we'll meet again at the farm. See you in a minute. there we have it, all planted and sprayed up. Good idea from me, huh? I don't know why it wouldn't work in that last field, the helper. I tried to get him to kind of do it. I thought that will mean, you know, we just sort of get on and get done and get finished, and no, for some reason he wouldn't plant that field. But anyway, it's been done, so all is good. Alright, let's get to the next month, which will be April. No, May. Sorry, we're in April. I know what I'm doing, honestly. We don't need to spray this one, no, because we ploughed that one, didn't we? Yes. Alright, let's see what the next month brings us. Hopefully we'll have the first ingredients to our kimchi. What we'll do is the kimchi ones we will take on the back of the lorry, just because we'll be able to take more of them. We'll be able to take all of them, and then the others we'll do with our little machine still. Because I'd like to still use that if I can, but hopefully we should have. So we've got lots of chili, that's good. Should have garlic, hopefully. Yep. And then hopefully we should have spring onions and cabbage. Yep. And yep, that's good. We can get collecting. It's always good to make sure first before you drive over there with the lorry, because the amount of times I've done that. Right, we need to unload the lorry first. That's the first job. So we'll unload this, and then what we'll do is we'll take the kimchi stuff over there, and that's where, oh, I don't know what I pressed there. Well, I must have pressed the enter the vehicle button. Must have pressed E, but I didn't mean to. And we'll get them over there, and then as I say, we'll call that it for this episode, and then in the next episode we should hopefully, I'll do a month or two just off camera, just selling the pallets, because you've all seen that a million times anyway, and then we'll be on to planting. We've just done the bloody planting, James, and then we'll be on to harvest. So we'll have our oats to harvest, and then our veggie, and then our vegetables to I tried to say veg. I can't say it. It's because I'm thinking about it. But anyway, we'll get these done. We'll get these collected, and then we will get. It looks as if I actually left the right amount of room this time. Wow. Finally got something right. This is where we didn't leave enough room. Can't now swing round the corner. No, can't swing round the corner, so we're going to have to go up here. Oh dear. One of these days, you know, I'll honestly, I'll look like a professional when I play this. Right, we can't get down the gap where the chilies are. I have tried that before, but we can quite comfortably get down this gap, so we've left way too much room down this side. Actually, the room is not as much as what I thought it was, but anyway, we'll get that done, and then we will. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, we will we'll get reversed up. You can fit the lorry down there, but it is very tight, and you definitely can't turn around at the end. And we've got to somehow get all of this onto one load. So what we'll do is if my mouse will let me, there we go. Honestly, it's the worst mouse I've ever had in my life. I did buy myself a Christmas present, and I bought myself a new wired mouse. The thing was, I'd literally the day before I bought it, I'd walked to the local shop and bought myself new batteries for the wireless mouse that I've got. And because I'm tight and stubborn, I now refuse to switch mouses until I've worn the batteries down in the wireless one, so still can't use it. Well, I can use it, I guess, but I'm still refusing to use it because I'm like, no, I paid for batteries and now I'm using said batteries. Not that, you know, there isn't a 9 other million things in the house that would take batteries and I would be able to use them in that, you know, but no, not James. No, he's decided that he's stubborn enough that that's what he's done, so that's what he's doing. Oh, why have they got connected? Oh dear. There we go. Don't know why they got welded together. You're very good if you can weld wood. I mean, I can weld wood together, but it normally takes nails or screws. Alright, get that on there. We will be able to just drive alongside the garlic and get that done. Right, that's that on there. Let's get some straps on there before they slide off. And then I think we'll have to do this by hand as well. I don't think we're going to be able to do that. So what we'll do is we will... I might not actually be able to get them on there. All of them anyway. Darn it. I wanted to get all of these on. Oh, I might do. Don't panic just yet, Mr. Jimmy. It's looking better. It's looking better. Right now, tomorrow's looking bright. Senorita. Oh dear. Yes, it's not looking so good again. It went from looking much brighter to looking not that great again. Alright, we'll try and get that up there without knocking everything off. And that might hold. It might hold. Let's have a look. We might be able to get that up there. Indeed we can. There we go. I bet I've put that between both straps, and no I haven't. Right, then unstrap and then restrap, and we're just going to have to drive very, 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 very slowly to the canning factory. Otherwise we're going to roll this little beast over. All our veggies are up and they look good. That's good. Oh. Well, why have weeds regrown there when I drilled it? When I sprayed it. Obviously spraying before you drill doesn't count. Oh. So we've got another job to do. I'll do that off camera though. As I say, we'll just get these over here. We'll get the kimchi started, and then, as I say, we'll call that it for this episode. And we've done quite a bit of work. Do you know what? I've driven by this field now 3 or 4 times today and wondered what this is. It's potatoes. Doesn't look like potatoes, I've got to be honest. You know, well, anyway. You would think that, I mean, in FS22, if the computer farmer drilled potatoes, it would be on the ridges, or, you know, with the ridges, whereas obviously, you know, FS25 doesn't believe in potato ridges, so it's gone, no, just going to put them in the ground. Right, let's just get wibbly wobbly around here, that's it. Just imagine how much money we'd get for all this. Crikey. But hopefully kimchi should be worth more. That's what I'm hoping. Should have checked really before I started doing this, but it doesn't matter if it isn't, because it like I say, it's something else for us to sell, so it doesn't matter too much. It's something different, isn't it? But we'll get these in here. Excellent, there we go. And then we will get round here and then we'll start it, because I don't think I've activated it, so we'll just pull off the road here and we will get ourselves here to do this. Kimchi, activate. Going to need quite a bit more cabbage by the looks of that. Might need to do 2 greenhouses of cabbage. But anyway, as I say, we'll call that it. Call this episode here. We've done quite a bit today. We've done well. We've got lots of things bought, new greenhouses put in. We've got 3 fields cultivated, 4 fields drilled. We've got 3 fields sprayed, but 1 didn't count. So we'll have to do that one again. And then, as I say, we've got a little bit of fertilising to do in those fields as well. And yeah, overall, we've done very, very well. Very pleased with how this episode has gone. As I say, we've managed to buy some things. Just before I do end the episode, we will get back to the farm, and then I will have a look at what's in the store, just in case there's anything there of interest to us. Get this back up here. We'll put this in the shed in a minute. All right. Let's have a look. So if we had animals, that would be nice. That would be nice. That would be nice. Okay, that would be nice. That would be nice. Nope, not too much in the way of anything for us, although that would come in handy at some point. But yeah, no. Anyway, as I say, thanks ever so much for watching. Really enjoyed having your presence and company on this episode, and I can't wait to see you again on the next one. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.